So, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Sure.
Okay. I'm interviewing right now. What is your name?
Dina El Musa.
And this is for immigration law to be a lawyer. We're going to ask you 5 different questions.
Sure.
Number 1, what types of projects, assignments, or deadlines must you meet each day? What is a typical day on the job?
You always have deadlines. And it really depends on the type of office you're working for. If you're working at a bigger law firm, you have over 35, 40 cases, sometimes even 100 cases. At a smaller law firm, you could have about 30 cases, and they're ongoing. So when you have a caseload of 30 cases that you're working on your own, you're busy all the time. You're contacting those clients all the time. Deadlines really depend on the type of case, the complexity of the case. Is it going to court? Is it going to an office? Sometimes we deal with applications and their deadlines. Sometimes we're dealing with appeals, and there's certain statutory law that deals with that. An average day at work, I would say you probably are moving through anywhere between 1 and 10 cases that you're working on at one time. If we're preparing for trial, it's probably just that one case, probably for a week. If it's not trial, then it could be, that I just need to call a client and see, maybe there's a discrepancy in the documents or something, and I'm checking that out. Anytime it's time to file something, I double check it just in case my paralegal overlooked something. And that usually takes up most of the time.
Most of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for number 2, what is the biggest challenge you encountered?
For me, the biggest challenge in immigration law, more than any other type of law, immigration law is very personal. You get to meet people, and that's fun, and it can be rewarding, but you don't always win. You'll meet people who really need your help, but the way the laws are written now, you can't always help them. And it's very difficult to separate your emotions from the law. Because sometimes, you have a family of 6 and they're going to be sent back. And if they're sent back, they might be killed, all of them. And you have that around your neck. And it's very difficult. It becomes personal. For me personally, it was very difficult to separate, work from personal, or to separate my emotions from my work.
Well, that answered the question. Number 3, if you were entering this career today, would you change your preparation in any way to facilitate entry?
I probably would have learned Spanish. If you don't speak Spanish, do you speak Spanish?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, if you can speak Spanish, then you're fine. I had to always get translators, and I really, really wished I had really paid attention in Spanish. I took 2 years of it in high school, but it wasn't enough. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I would have done. Another thing was, I got my bachelor's degree in business marketing, and I thought that was awesome. I had friends who got their degrees, or their bachelor degrees in political science, mm-hmm. or legal studies, and they seem to struggle a little bit more. And it's because their entire education was focused in one area, but when you get out into the real world, you need more than that. You need some business. I opened up my own firm, mm-hmm. so I needed to have that business background. Everything you need to know about the law, they'll teach you in law school. So you don't have to stress yourself out about it before you get to law school. So I guess for me personally, the only thing I would change was pick up an extra language. And if you can pick up 2 extra languages, that's great.
Mm-hmm. 4, did any courses prove particularly useful as you started practicing?
Do you mean from college or from law school?
I would say college, from mine.
Okay. For college, yes. I took legal research and writing, and those 2 classes were extremely helpful. They're the only legal classes. Actually, no. I did take business law, but it was for my business degree. Those 3 classes really helped me understand, actually, and all my business classes. There's a big chunk of law that's situated right in the middle of business. And if you don't understand business, it's very difficult for you to understand that section of the law, and it's a huge part. So, personally, doing that degree in business really helped me out. But also, that legal research and writing class helped expose me to legal writing. And legal writing is completely different than any type of writing you've ever written. I'm a very good creative writer, but the first semester in law school, I remember I was so confident. I submitted my paper and I was so excited. When I got it back, it was bleeding. I mean, there's just red ink everywhere. And what I ended up, I was just freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fail law school. Like, what's wrong? You must have given me the wrong paper. And she said, no, this one's yours. And I was like, oh my gosh, how can this be? And she said, you write very fluffy. She's like, get rid of the fluffy stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I had to learn a totally different way of writing. And I think that one class really did help me, the legal research and writing class. There are 2 classes, and it kind of opens your eyes about cases and different stories and different things that can happen. So, yeah, those are great classes.
And the last one, what is one thing that surprised you about your career/current position?
The one thing that surprised me about my career is that it changed so much. And I never could have predicted what I wanted to be. I mean, I look back when I was 18 and I wanted to be a CEO of a company. I graduated with a bachelor's in marketing, and then I went to law school. I started practicing immigration, and then slowly I changed it to not completely changed out of it, but I started to add probate cases and business cases, and I enjoyed those a lot more because they were less emotionally stressful, because I could detach myself, my personal side, my emotional side from the case. So that was easier for me. But then I ended up teaching. So I still have my firm on the side, but I teach, and I don't know if this is what I'm going to do forever. So as far as careers go, I've done a lot in a very short amount of time. I love teaching. It's probably my passion, but I wouldn't leave the law for anything. It's kind of like I'm in 2 totally different worlds, and I'm happy to be there. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
You're